Yay, we're live, guys. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Bienvenidos a todos, chicos. Estamos en vivo con nuestra invitada especial, Kenia, Alu. Ella va a estar hablando en un ratito. Bienvenida, Kenia. Welcome, Kenia.
Thank you. Gracias.
And una cosa, chicos, rapidito.
Dale.
Chicos, quienes nos estén viendo ahorita, por favor, vayan al grupo y pongan quién está presente. Digan yo en el pin post que yo puse ahí. So, vayan, por favor, y el que puso Rocío ahorita, vayan y pongan quién está presente.
Acá.
I'm just telling them to go to the pin post and say that they're present. Say me, who's present? So you can see right there.
It has delay, but
yeah.
people is gonna be like catching up.
Now I can't understand everything
You guys are still
that
busy.
I can pretty much understand.
Oh,
So don't really have to.
Okay.
I follow pretty well. So.
Okay, good.
Hi.
Oh, estás viendo.
Ella dice hola. Te está diciendo.
Oh, hi.
Okay, Franco, it's over.
¿Rocío? Mami, yo he ido a esa canción before.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
¿Verdad?
let's see.
Okay,
Now we have some people.
ya tenemos algunos por acá: Marcelo, Joana, Willy Reyes. Van llegando poco a poco.
Dicen presente.
Quiero ingresar, pero no puedo. Ay, Marcelo, espérate.
Yeah, we have some views already. Yeah, ya tenemos visitas. Bienvenidos, chicos.
Bueno, pues ya el que llegó y el que no tampoco.
Yeah. Okay, Rocío, dale.
Ok, chicos, ya estamos empezando. Vayan tomando papel y lápiz. Así que, básicamente esto es para inspirarlos un poco más, para hacerles ver lo que hay, ¿no? Como dicen, detrás de las escenas, lo que hay detrás de una persona que está ya teniendo éxito. Nosotros queríamos pues presentar a Kenia, invitarla aquí a que platicara con ustedes, a que les comentara su historia, porque nosotros nos relacionamos mucho con ella, especialmente porque es madre de familia, es esposa, es mujer, es empresaria, y ella tiene una historia similar a la de nosotros cuando nosotras, en el momento que nosotros estamos ahorita viviendo, ella también lo pasó, lo vivió, también fue mamá soltera y pues pasó por ciertas cosas retos que ahorita ella les va a contar. Ella no habla español, pero ella sí entiende, dice que sí entiende, pero les vamos a estar traduciendo nosotros a ustedes lo que ella va diciendo, y bueno, más que nada para que escuchen y vean pues ha sido ese transcurso que ella ha tomado para llegar a ser quien es ahora. En lo personal, algo que me gusta mucho de Kenia es que ella es muy sencilla, ella no se ve ni más arriba de nivel que nadie más, ella se ve al nivel, se pone pues al nivel de todos, y tiene mucho entendimiento con todas las personas en general, y ayuda mucho a su equipo. Ellos tienen un equipo, el Dream Team de The Domination en inglés. Ellos tienen un equipo grandísimo, siempre está al pie del cañón ayudando a sus personas, a las personas, a los miembros del equipo, de su equipo, de los otros equipos, etcétera. Y siempre está dispuesta pues, a escuchar, a dar soluciones, a colaborar y pues a crecer, más que nada ayudar a crecer su comunidad y los que se acercan a ella. Por eso nosotros la apreciamos mucho. No estamos relacionados con ella en equipo, pero estamos relacionadas, pues, identificadas, y por eso las seguimos mucho, más que a nuestro propio sponsor, porque simplemente porque así es el liderazgo. Tú empiezas a seguir a las personas a las que quieres modelar y pues, que te inspiran. Y eso es lo que Kenia hace para nosotros. Okay. So Kenia, I just talk like very good about you.
Thank you.
So I know you understand most of the things, so I'm just going to pass you the word. So you wanna just introduce yourself and just give me a chance to translate.
Sure.
Right. Okay.
Well, thank you. Muchas gracias. But I first want to say how proud I am of these two girls. I mean, you guys, and I know you're going to be uncomfortable translating this because it's about you, but you're going to have to. Okay? So these ladies, Rocio and Ofi, you guys have such a gift in their leadership. I mean, they have taken the reins on making sure that they're able to reach this community so that you could use DS domination and succeed.
Okay.
Rocío,
Bueno, pues ella dijo que se me olvidó. Bueno, que básicamente nosotros tenemos un liderazgo que pues hemos tomado y hemos hecho pues bastantes cosas para ayudar a la comunidad, para tener más alcance con ellos,
me hace pie.
para ayudarlos a tener éxito. Eso es así en general lo que ella ha dicho.
And they're both single moms. They could both just, you know, work the program, recruit English-speaking people, and make, you know, a ton of money for themselves. But instead, they sacrificed and really donated their time to creating the, you know, to translating the training so that you could have the opportunity as well. And they're not getting paid extra for that, guys. This is something that they're doing because they have a heart to reach the Latino community and to give them the opportunity to work this business.
Okay, that's hard to translate. Okay, ella acaba de decir que nosotros somos mamás solteras y estamos trabajando en esto y nosotros pudimos haber simplemente enfocado, nos pudimos haber enfocado en la comunidad en inglés y simplemente usar las herramientas en inglés y reclutar en inglés y hacer todo en inglés sin preocuparnos por el lado hispano y básicamente hemos donado nuestro tiempo para poder hacer esto posible y básicamente pues estamos haciéndolo con las ganas, ¿no? El corazón de ayudarlos a los demás, básicamente. Bueno, esto es lo que, es lo que ella dijo.
So, yeah, you guys are just very blessed to be on the team that you're on with DSD Latino. And the tools that you're given are just amazing. And I'm going to go ahead and thank you, Rocio and Ofi, too, for inviting me to share on your training. I feel humbled and I feel very blessed for you all to include me in this. This is awesome.
Okay, ella está agradecida por la invitación y pues nos está diciendo que se ha hecho un trabajo maravilloso y pues está simplemente se siente agradecida y se siente honrada de estar aquí con nosotros.
So I want to share a little bit about my story and my background, where I've come from, because from the outside perspective, it might look like, you know, I've never struggled.
Okay, ella dice que va a compartir su historia, su perfil del cual ella viene y aunque ahora ella no lo aparenta, ella batalló y sufrió y pues sí hubo, ¿cómo se dice struggle? Sí hubo pues retos, ¿no?
Retos, dificultades.
Dificultades.
Difficult times. Okay, so I know that I may, when I tell you what circumstances I came from, some of you all may relate right on. Some of you may not be right on. You might have different struggles. But I was a girl who got pregnant when I was 19 years old. And, you know, I also got married at 18. And, well, I'm sorry, I was pregnant at 18, and I had my baby at 19, and I got married at 18. So my marriage was one of abuse, of alcoholism and drug addiction. It wasn't that I was using the drugs or the alcohol, but my husband was.
Ok, ella está diciendo que ella tuvo su primer embarazo a los 19, se casó a los 18 y básicamente su relación era abusiva donde había alcohol y drogas. No que ella lo usara, sino que su esposo era el que hacía todo eso.
So, you know, from that came a lot of people speaking things over my life. For example, and by the way, I was divorced by the time I was 20. I was told that I was no longer, you know, the cream of the crop as a single mom. It was going to be very hard for me to find a man who was, you know, worth it, because I had baggage now. Those are the things that people told me.
Sí, y llegó un momento en que las personas empezaron a señalar ciertos aspectos de su vida y hacerla sentir mal por el hecho de ser mamá soltera y obviamente decirles que iba a ser muy difícil para ella encontrar alguien un hombre que la apoyara y que pues sí, que no iba a ser lo mismo ya a partir de ese momento.
I was brought up in a home that taught me good work ethic. So I was always a hard worker. I wasn't afraid of hard work. I went on, had a very low self-esteem, but I went on and I got my nursing degree. And I was a single mom for 12 years. I dated during that time, but I didn't really, you know, they weren't the right people. And I worked 3 jobs at a time, sometimes just to put food on the table, and not sometimes just to put food on the table, but because I wanted to be able to take my daughter to the zoo or go out to eat with her or have some fun with her. And because, you know, I didn't want to just be paycheck to paycheck. So that's why I worked extra, but that took a lot of time away from her.
Ok, ella se crió en un ambiente con su familia donde siempre se le enseñó a trabajar duro y ella no tenía miedo de trabajar duro y pues ella vivió como mamá soltera por 12 años y eso para ella poder vivir durante sobrevivir pues durante esos 12 años ella tuvo que trabajar en 3 trabajos diferentes, no solamente para proveer para su hija, para su bebé, sino para también tener ese tiempo extra de llevarla al zoológico, bueno, lo que se necesitara, ¿no? Para tener diversión con su pequeña y bueno, eso es en general lo que ella dijo.
And, you know, I felt so poorly about myself as a person that I felt like, well, you know, this is my lot in life. This is the way I'm supposed to be. I work hard, but I don't get ahead, and I'm just supposed to struggle. That's just the way my life's supposed to be. I'm supposed to struggle. I'm not supposed to have freedom, and, you know, I may be alone forever, and that's, you know, whatever. And I just had this very negative mindset, and I battled depression because I was lonely, and I didn't feel like I was that I was worth anything to anybody.
Sí, ella menciona que ella se acostumbró, se hizo a la idea de que ese era su estilo de vida, que eso ella estaba destinada a hacer. También antes, lo que se me olvidó mencionar, ella hizo su curso de enfermería y menciona que tenía la autoestima muy baja, pero eso la llevó a luchar contra depresiones y simplemente pues ella pensaba que no había nada mejor para ella en el futuro.
And some of you out there probably are single parents. maybe you've been abused yourself. Maybe you have had failure after failure in different business opportunities like I did, because while I was working as a nurse, I was also trying other, different work from home opportunities. I even ordered that box of putting together bows one time. I mean, I have done it all, you guys, and I failed at every single one.
Okay, y ella dice, tal vez algunos de ustedes son también mamás o papás solteros y se pueden identificar con ella. Ella intentó de todo, así, aún siendo enfermera, buscaba opciones de trabajos en casa, hacer inclusive las decoraciones esos de moños y en todo y cada una de esas cosas que ella intentó, ella falló o sintió que falló.
So not only was I told I was a failure, I was failing. And I was telling myself that I was a failure as well, that I couldn't do it. This was just the way my life was going to be. And honestly, it really didn't change. Nothing changed. My outlook, nothing changed until I made an effort to change my mindset and to change how I thought about myself and to realize who I was created to be, despite my mistakes, despite my circumstances. God doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't create people because he wants them to fail. I really, at that point, I remember coming to a point where I was broken, and I was in tears, and I was like, I don't know where else to turn except to turn to God. And I had been a Christian before. That wasn't my issue. I just didn't really understand that I was God's child, and He created me for a purpose, and that purpose wasn't to be miserable my whole life.
Ella dice que nada de su situación cambió absolutamente hasta que ella hizo el esfuerzo y tomó la decisión de hacer un cambio, de mejorar, darse cuenta de que no venimos a este mundo a ser miserables, que Dios no crea personas que vienen aquí a sentirse mal o a ser menos, sino todo lo contrario. Ella tuvo que darse cuenta, despertar y entregarse a Dios y saber que ella estaba destinada para algo. Era, ¿cómo se dice? Ah, esa pelea, esa lucha mental que ella estaba haciendo, emocional.
So I was depressed. I would wake up every morning, and I actually, let me see here. I wrote up these cards, and you can't read them because they're in English, but I wrote up these cards, and even though I didn't feel it, I didn't feel happy, I didn't feel like I was worthy, I didn't feel like I was, ever going to amount to anything. Life to me was just sad and work hard and wake up and do it all over again and go to sleep, and it was just miserable. And so I would wake up every morning and I would read these sheets to myself that I made from scriptures in the Bible. And I mean, this is not a religious call or anything like that, but I'm just sharing my story, and I'm just sharing what helped me overcome and change. These sheets basically, talk about the joy of the Lord is my strength. This is the day that the Lord has made. That type of stuff.
Okay. Ella menciona que estaba en una depresión muy grande e inclusive ella escribió esas hojas donde ella tenía párrafos, pasajes bíblicos que ella leía, que aunque ella no se sentía bien y no sentía o no veía mejor a ella, seguía leyéndolas cada día, cada mañana, y son no se refiere a que esto sea una llamada religiosa o algo, pero esa es la historia de ella, eso es como lo que le funcionó a ella, y lo que le funcionaba era leer esas cartas que ella misma hizo para ella a diario, y cosas acerca que habla de Dios y que Dios es mi fuerza, mi apoyo, entonces los pasajes bíblicos, ¿no? Que ella estaba leyendo.
So I would read them every day and I wouldn't feel like it. And I would even tell myself, I don't know why I'm doing this. This isn't going to work. But I would do it because somebody told me to. I don't remember where along the line somebody told me to, but they did. And that brings me to a point. If you're not happy where you are, and if you are happy where you are, it doesn't matter. Being teachable and listening to other people try and help you or share their experience and give you advice, people who've done it before, people who are making more money than you are, people who are happy spirits. You've got to be teachable and open to what other people have to offer. And there were times when somebody would tell me, well, why don't you just do this? Or why don't you just do that? And I would just think to myself, who are they to tell me what to do? They have a perfect life. They have a happy marriage, and they are very wealthy, and they are, just living this perfect life. Who are they to tell me they have no idea what I'm going through?
Okay, ella dice que aunque no tenía las ganas de hacerlo, de leerlo, ella simplemente empezó a hacer ese ritual o esa rutina para, porque alguien le dijo, alguien le dio ese consejo, y lo que ella dice es que nosotros debemos dejarnos enseñar por las personas que ya son más exitosas que nosotros, que hacen más dinero que nosotros, que tienen una vida más estable, más en control, que aunque llegaba a un punto en que había personas que le decían, ¿por qué no haces esto? ¿O por qué no pruebas esto? Ella se sentía como que, ¿quiénes son estas personas para decirme qué hacer? Si ellos son felices, ellos no tienen problemas como yo los tengo, pero aún así ella hacía eso, eh, y pues fue mejorando poco a poco. I forgot what was the last.
Who are they to tell me they don't have any idea what I'm dealing with? They've never experienced it.
Okay, ellos no eran nadie ellos para decirle qué hacer o cómo hacerlo si ellos no estaban en su lugar, en sus zapatos.
And so it never occurred to me that maybe the reason that they were where they are and I was where I was because maybe they had struggles years ago, and maybe they'd worked through them, and maybe it's because they have a more positive attitude and a more positive mindset that they're in the place they're in, and I'm in the place I'm in.
Ella dice que tal vez ellos tenían que no tenían las dificultades que ella tenía, y ellos podían decir eso fácilmente, porque I forgot again.
No, I got it. She said that, ella dijo, I'm confused now, talking in English. Sorry. Ella dice que ella después se puso a pensar que esas personas estaban donde estaban porque tal vez ellos ya habían pasado por problemas, ya habían tenido dificultades, y lo único que habían mejorado era su forma de pensar, y por eso ellos estaban donde están y ella estaba donde estaba, por su forma de pensar.
So they grew just like I've grown, and I read a book called Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer, and it's in Spanish. They have one in Spanish. She translates into all different kinds of languages, and Spanish is one of them. So it's a great book. Pick it up. And that's my go-to book. I still have it, and it looks all ripped up, and I love it. But there are other books out there. For example, The Secret. I'm sure some of you know of The Secret.
Dice que ella no se te oye, Rocío.
Ah, okay. I forgot I got the mute. Okay, ella dice que ella tomó un libro. Can you repeat the name of the book?
Yes, Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer.
Okay, Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer. I believe it's Lucha Mental de Joyce Meyer. Pues si alguien toma, apunta el nombre y nos lo repite a mí y a Ofi en
La
el grupo.
batalla mental. No sé.
Sí. Y ese libro, pues ella inclusive aún lo tiene y si ella se los muestra todavía está desgastado con páginas rotas y todo. Pero ella menciona que hay varios libros, como por ejemplo uno similar a esos que sería como El Secreto, que la mayoría debe estar familiarizado con este libro, pero sí, ese fue uno de los libros que ella estaba leyendo.
The book is called El Campo de Batalla de la Mente in Spanish. Joyce Meyer. I
Gracias. Good. Okay.
Okay.
Chicos, apunten ese libro, búsquenlo en Amazon.
So, my point on, you have books like The Secret, okay, and The Secret teaches you basically just think on good things and good things will come to you. And honestly, I don't believe that. I'm not saying that. You can't just think on good things. You have to think on good things and change your mindset, but you have to take action too. You have to get to work. You have to be consistent. You have to be persistent, even when you fail.
Okay, esta es mi parte favorita. Ella dice que las cosas que se mencionan en libros como El Secreto es que te dicen tienes que pensar en cosas bonitas y positivas y cosas buenas van a venir a ti, cosas positivas van a venir a ti, pero básicamente ella no cree en eso o no cree que sea totalmente la verdad, sino que también debe haber un balance entre pensar positivamente, cambiar tu mentalidad positivamente y también tomar acción, trabajar, inclusive aunque tengas fallas, aunque te equivoques, hay que seguir trabajando y tener ese balance entre lo pensar positivo y tener acciones también.
And when you become discouraged, that's okay. You can be discouraged, but you have to pick yourself back up. I was the most, and if you don't believe me because of how you see me now, just ask my husband. Ask my friends from 20 years ago. I was the most negative person. If something happened, I always saw the negative part of it. I never saw the silver lining. I never saw the glass half full. I always saw the worst part of every situation.
Ok, ella dice que aunque ustedes no lo crean por como lo aparenta ella, su comportamiento, ella era la persona más negativa, ella tenía siempre preocupaciones de muchas cosas y si no le creen, pueden preguntar a su esposo, a sus amigos de hace 20 años, ella se preocupaba demasiado, ella no veía la línea plateada, ¿no? La parte positiva de sus problemas, sino que siempre veía lo peor de lo peor.
So, I basically, I don't know if you want me to go into, okay, so I changed my mindset. I started doing, better. My mindset was good. I was more positive. I wasn't negative all the time. And I basically, continued to work and try other businesses. And then I actually did get achieve some success in a past company that I was in. And then I found DSD. And DSD is by far, you guys are in the right place because there are no other companies out there where so many people are making money without having to recruit.
Ok, ella empezó a hacer varias pruebas, ¿no? Empezó a tener pues sus altos y bajos y empezó a probar otras compañías donde también tuvo éxito, pero al final, después de varias pruebas, encontró DSD, DS Domination, que ella explica que es el mejor lugar para estar, porque no hay una compañía hasta ahorita que se le parezca, porque puedes hacer dinero sin hacer, sin referir, sin reclutar a las personas.
So when I introduce DS Domination to people, I feel good about it because I know that they can make money and I don't feel like I'm ripping them off.
Sí, cuando ella les muestra o les presenta DS Domination a otras personas, ella se siente muy, muy feliz con eso porque ella sabe y está por segura que mm, no está estafando a las personas o no está robándoles pues su dinero básicamente.
And I want to tell you that it's not just about following the steps. I've put a focus here tonight on mindset and personal growth because that is more important for your life and for the people around you than any of it. I am more and more growing a passion for that to be what I share with people because that is really foundational to changing your life.
Ok, ella dice que no tienes que seguir paso a paso para, bueno, seguir cada paso, pero ella ha encontrado como una vocación, ¿no? En trabajar en desarrollo personal y ayudar a otras personas a hacer lo mismo. Es más como una pasión que ha crecido en ese tipo de cosas porque es lo básico, es lo fundamental para tu vida, ¿no? No nada más para el negocio. Creo que dije algunas cosas.
So, the key things here are be teachable, be consistent and persistent, and work hard. If you get a thought in your head that is negative or that is just, I just can't do this. I'm just going to give up. This just isn't going to work for me. You've got to take that thought and say, why am I different than anybody else?
Ok, ella dice que la clave es ser, ¿cómo se dice? Dejarte pues enseñar, ser consistente o tener constancia y también cada vez que tengas un pensamiento negativo, tienes que cambiarlo y decir, por qué yo no podría? ¿Por qué no puedo hacerlo yo también? Yo no soy menos que los demás, eres también tan bueno como los demás.
And I'll tell you that I know where some of you are at. I have lost my house in the past. I have not known how I was going to afford diapers for my babies. And guys, this is just, this is 5-6 years ago. I'm not talking 20 years ago. I have a 21-year-old who's at college, and then I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. So this is just very recent where we didn't know how we were going to eat. We would have, I'm not kidding, like quesadillas every single day because that's all we could afford. And we couldn't really even afford that. But this was our life. We had to struggle. We had times where we had just a couple dollars in our bank account. We didn't know what we were going to do. But both my husband and I are very hard workers. He had a more positive mindset than I did when we got married, and he's helped me with that. But it's the combination, working hard and mindset.
Ok, ella dice que ella comprende y ella entiende en qué situación pueden estar ustedes o podemos estar todos en este momento porque ella lo vivió desde perder su casa, desde no saber cómo iba a comprar los pañales para sus bebés y no es que ella esté hablando de muchos años porque ella tiene una hija de 21, 21, tiene una hija de 21 años, tiene otra de 7 y de 5 y era desde hace aproximadamente 5 años donde ella pasó por todo eso. No hace mucho tiempo de eso, es reciente, que ni siquiera sabía qué es lo que iban a comer, que básicamente, pues, nomás quesadillas y a veces hasta ni eso tenían dinero para comer. Y pues ella menciona que su esposo era el que se mantenía más positivo y el que la ayudó, la fortaleció a, pues a seguir, ¿no? Y es básicamente la combinación de tener una actitud positiva, una mentalidad positiva y el trabajo duro es realmente la clave.
And faith and trust in God that he would provide. We had people, I would open my front door and there would be a bag of diapers sitting there. I don't know who they were from. I have no idea to this day. We had somebody mail us an envelope. I wish I still have it. I don't know where it is though. It had $200 in it, and it didn't have a return address. It just had my address. I have no idea who it was from, but it came when we so most desperately needed it. And you know that there one Christmas somebody gave us, and I don't know who did it either, but somebody gave us a bunch of gift cards so that we could go buy our kids some, you know, my older daughter at the time, we could buy her some Christmas gifts. And you know, those things, those don't just those don't just happen. Those happen because God put it on someone's heart, because he's providing for us. You know, you have to have faith, you have to work hard, and you have to work on yourself is ultimately how I want to leave it.
Ella dice que es también, se trata también de la fe en Dios, y que, ay, eso me olvidó, ok. Y que ella inclusive, bueno, ellos pasaron a un punto de que a muchas personas los ayudaban anónimamente sin saber quiénes eran. Ella inclusive una vez abrió la puerta de su casa y había un paquete de pañales ahí, nada más puesto, sin saber quién los dejó ahí. Una persona le envió un sobre sin la dirección de retorno, nada más la dirección de ella con $200. Hubo momentos que también en días de Navidad muchas personas también sin saber quiénes eran les mandaron muchas tarjetas con dinero y con, bueno, tarjetas esas de gift cards, los de regalo para comprarles a sus hijos en la Navidad, pues para los regalos, ¿no? Que llegar a ese punto, pero básicamente ella lo que dice es que es también es la fe y es Dios pone a las personas en tu camino por una razón también para ayudarte.
And my passion is I want to pay it forward. I want to do the same. I want to help people in need, and that's what we've been able to do. Thank God he blessed us, and now we help an orphanage, and we help, you know, single moms, and we do all kinds of stuff that I never thought I would be able to be on the other end of that. I was always on the receiving end, and frankly, I was like, I want to be able to do this for people. I don't want people to do this for me anymore. I want to do it for people. And, you know, we can now, and so we're very thankful. That's my story. I don't, you know I didn't talk a whole lot about business, but we can do a Q&A for that. I just wanted to inspire some people that if you're in a hard place, you're not stuck there.
Okay, ella dice que pues esa es una pasión ahora que ella ha desarrollado también de pagar, de hacer, de regresar, ¿no? Las bendiciones que ella recibió con otras personas, porque ella en un tiempo estuvo cansada de que muchas personas le estaban ayudando y llegó a un punto en que ella decía, yo quiero ser la que ayuda a otras personas. Entonces ahora ellos lo que hacen es cada vez ayudar, ¿no? A otras personas, así como ellos fueron ayudados, han ayudado en orfanato, bueno, han hecho donaciones y eh, básicamente es eso lo que les apasiona a ellos, lo que les hace feliz y lo que ella quiere decir en este mensaje, y no es tanto de que ella no habló de negocios, ella nada más quería compartir su historia, pero menciona ahí que podemos hacer unas preguntas. Si tienen preguntas también del negocio, lo podemos hacer ahorita, un espacio que tengamos. Y bueno, básicamente el mensaje final que ella les quiere dar es que en el momento en el que estás ahorita, lo que estás viviendo ahorita, no estás atorado ahí, no va a ser el último paso. Hay mucho más por delante.
Um, Thank you, Kenya. That was an amazing story. I love your story. You are, I mean, you are one woman that Rocio and I follow because, I mean, yeah, we can relate to you. We both are single mom. You were single mom once, and yeah, we all have our struggles, and but you're right. We're not stuck here, and what we are doing, our circumstances today doesn't mean that we're gonna be here forever, you know. So, lo que le dije, chicos, es que su historia es muy buena, es impresionante, que nos relacionamos Rocío y yo con ella y muchos de ustedes también, porque ella fue madre soltera en un momento, nosotros somos madres solteras ahorita, pero lo que digo al final es cierto, que nosotros no estamos atorados en lo que estamos ahorita, que nuestra circunstancia de ahora no va a determinar nuestro futuro y que podemos salir adelante. Rocío, hice un post, no sé si querés compartir pantalla. Chicos, vayan a ese post, es el pin post, y ahí puse que si tienen preguntas para Kenia, que lo pongan ahí. I just made a post, you know, the pin post, and if people have questions, they can go to that post. So, chicos, vayan a ese post, por favor. Y si tienen preguntas, pónganlo ahí. Les voy a dar un chance. We're going to wait a little bit because it's a delay, you know, as you know.
Yeah, it has a delay, like a minute.
Something, yeah. But,
Voy a ver aquí.
wow, Kenya, I love your story. So inspirational.
Okay, Kenya, that was hard to translate for me. I was like, do I cry first or just translate? I was like,
You did a great
like coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, it always like amazed me because even that I don't know, like kind of I sense like some people, because you can see the leadership, and when you are like so willing to help, it's because of a reason. Like many people are not willing to help because they just don't see there is a need to help. But when you have the need to help, it's because you know what what's going on. You know what is really need to be done, and that's how I feel. True. Every time, like it's hard like to help when you also like need help or need like continue building up. But I mean that's what we are here for. You know, not like just like walk like a horse and don't look on the sides. It's like you have to really pay attention to other people.
Yeah, and you know, even if people are in a hard place, that doesn't really mean that you don't have anything to contribute. You know, when I was struggling, I still had a need, like I wanted to help people in some way, and you can, and that actually will help you grow if you help other people. So, you know, I would help, you know, I would volunteer at the youth group at my church. Was I the best role model at the time? Probably not, but that's okay. My heart was right. I wanted to help, and we have a need as people we want to help people. I mean, I know where, just like you said, where people who need help, I appreciated a helping hand when I needed it, and everyone else does. Is it convenient all the time? No. So what?
We have someone. Well, some people are saying that your Spanish is good when you when you said the name of the book. And now Jadiluz is asking, how do you feel for the help that you have given back? And she also says that you're a wonderful woman and a fighter.
Thank you. I do consider myself a fighter. I have been through a lot. And and I'll continue to fight till the day that I die. Now, what was the question exactly?
That how do you feel for the help that you've given back now, that you've given back to the community or the people? Yeah, how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, it makes me feel good, obviously, but I know that there's so much more to do. There are so many people in need and fatherless children and motherless children that just they need more. I mean, it's never going to end. It's just going to increase and go into a different level. You know, and for me, it's not just about being able to give money. It's deeper than that. Money is good. We need to have money to give to people, but it's deeper. You know, I want to. There's so much. There's an orphanage that we support in Belize, and I want to go there, and I want to help them develop a program for their kids. I want to, you know, I want to go farther with it. But yeah, it makes you feel good when you can start helping and giving back. Just the same as, you know, when I'm driving through Starbucks, if I get to buy the car behind me their coffee, they have no idea who I am. Just like that kind of random act of kindness makes you feel good. It really makes you feel good when it's something you're passionate about. And another thing is the sex trade industry that I am very passionate about. I want to help rescue those women from that. So those are kind of my two things, and yeah, it does make you feel good. But it's not about me. I mean, I think God created us to want to do good for people, but it's not about how it makes me feel. Because frankly, I don't care who knows about it. You know, the people that I help don't need to know that I'm helping them. It's not about that self-glorification. But, you know, it does make you feel good. And I want to keep helping people and, you know, impact some lives.
Ok, ella dice que la hace sentir muy bien, que se siente muy reconfortable al hacerlo, pero que no es acerca de ella, sino que ella más bien lo ayuda porque lo hace, lo quiere hacer. Aparte que quiere ir más profundo de eso, no solo ayudar, que es bueno tener dinero, tenemos que tener dinero para ayudar, pero que no se trata solo del dinero, se trata de algo más profundo que eso. Ella quiere dar, ella están ayudando a un orfanato en Belice. By the way, Belize was part of Guatemala before. Now they are a separate country, but it was part of Guatemala before. And I'm from Guatemala. Y también que quieren hacer más de lo que ya están haciendo, que se siente muy bien, pero que ella no quiere que ellos sepan quién los está ayudando, que ella solo quiere ayudar y seguirlo haciendo. Is there any more questions? Let me see.
There's some more question. There is a guy, Marcelo. He has a question. He say he wants to know if you only dedicate your time for your family and the examination right now.
Actually, no. Those are my main things. My husband and I have another business that I help him with. So yeah, it's basically DS Domination, my family, and our other business. You know, we're very busy people. I honestly have 3 businesses within DS Domination, as some of you may or may not have. It's the team. It's right now for me, it's Amazon. I do a little bit of eBay. I'm mostly doing Amazon now, and then we have you know, a real estate company that we do. If you're asking if I have an outside job, a 9-to-5 or something like that, I do not anymore. I quit my job as a registered nurse about 2.5 years ago.
Ella dice, chicos, que no, ella tiene más negocios que, bueno, básicamente dentro de DS Domination hay como 3 fuentes de negocios. Por ejemplo, bueno, se dedica a su equipo, se dedica a vender en Amazon, también en eBay, más en Amazon que en eBay, y también le ayuda a su esposo con su negocio de real estate.
Bienes raíces.
De bienes raíces. O sea que básicamente si la pregunta era relacionada a si ella está en un trabajo de esos de 9 a 5, no, es todo trabajo en casa. I think
Um,
okay,
I,
I just wanna before we go further because I believe people think that because we was talking about this yesterday, like have multiples
multiple stream of
multiple
income.
streams of income, but just to clarify, you you work one business at the time because that was I was explaining because people think they need to be here and there to make a lot of money, but they
Yeah.
get confused. It's like okay, yeah.
Yeah, and let me speak on that for a second. That's a great point. As far as network marketing, home-based business type stuff, I really believe it's important for people to focus on one thing, especially when you have something like DS domination where the one thing has 3 and 4 streams inside of it. You can't, you've got to be focused. You can't divide your attention. First of all, number one, you will lose credibility in the marketplace. If you are constantly talking to people about this business and that business, you're going to lose credibility and people aren't going to listen to you. You've got to show focus, commitment, and I really think unless you're making a solid, I mean, and this is probably conservative, I mean, I would even go farther, but a solid $5,000 a month consistently for at least 6 months, you should not be looking at something else.
Ujú. Ella lo que dice es que bueno, la pregunta que le hice era acerca de los múltiples fuentes de ingresos y ella dice que ella no cree en estar aquí y allá porque obviamente pierdes credibilidad si estás hablando en el aspecto del mercado de Internet. Si estás en un lugar y en otro, las personas van a dejar de creer en ti y van a desconfiar, que lo mejor es enfocarte en una cosa a la vez, especialmente como DS Domination, que dentro de una hay tres, por la afiliación, eBay y Amazon, esas serían las tres fuentes de ingresos. Y en un caso extremo, si tú quieres agregar otra fuente de ingreso, sería ya al punto en que tú con tu primera fuente de ingreso tú estás ganando por lo menos $5,000 al mes en 6 meses consecutivos. Six months, right?
Mm-hmm. And I make, you know, we make more than that every month, and I still am not going, I don't do any other companies. I stick with one. I think it's just, for me, it's the right way to go. It's how you're going to make the most money, and it's how you're going to help the most people.
Okay. Ella dice que ellos hacen más que eso, más de $5,000 al mes, y aún así, aunque ellos ya están haciendo suficiente dinero, ellos no se sienten como para brincar a otro lugar. Ellos siguen con su enfoque en esta compañía y básicamente DS Domination para ella es su familia. Okay, I have another.
I have another question. This what time did you started to see a progress in this domination? Like what time did you started progressing in this domination?
Well, my start was a little bit different. I'm just going to be honest here. My start was a little bit different than what some of you might experience. I was successful in my previous company. And so now I have been off and on in network marketing for 20 years, not successfully, okay? And then my previous company before DS Domination, I started creating some success. And so when I came to DS Domination, excuse me, I had some people join me. So my start in the affiliate side was very fast. That's not the case for everybody. And so that's why I say I'm not the best person to ask that question to, but I can give you example after example of people on my team. I have a good friend. She was a registered nurse as well. She quit her job as a registered nurse. I think it was 4 months in. She replaced her income. And this is someone, she worked night shifts. She had long shifts, and she put her head down in eBay. She didn't recruit very much. She still doesn't. She's making very good money on the product. And those stories go on and on. I'm doing well on Amazon. I did okay on eBay. I didn't do a lot of eBay just because I started off with quite a team, and that took up most of my time to build what we have for the Dream Team.
Ah, ok, ella dice que ella empezó un poco diferente porque pues como ella ya estaba en otra compañía, ella empezó más con el lado del equipo, por ahí empezó muy bien, que no hizo mucho de eBay porque como empezó ya con el equipo, pues por ahí empezó y empezó bien. Ella está haciendo muy bien, buen dinero en Amazon, pero hay una historia de una de las personas de su equipo que era una enfermera también, que estaba trabajando demasiado, pero que se puso a trabajar en eBay y puso para trabajar duro, y así es como ella está haciendo ahora mucho dinero en eBay, y así las historias de más personas en el equipo salen, pero ella en sí empezó más con la parte de afiliada, porque ya traía un equipo y todo eso, pero está teniendo muy buen resultado en Amazon.
Now, I want to clarify. I do use eBay. I do sell on eBay. I do sell on Amazon. I am the type of person that if I'm promoting something, I need to be doing it so that, first of all, I can prove to other people that it works. And if it works for me, it can work for anybody. And, you know, I don't just have an affiliate and sign up a bunch of people and I'm not using it myself. I don't do that. So even though I'm doing it on a smaller scale than somebody who is putting their focus on eBay, I do sell on eBay, and I just made a sale yesterday, actually.
Ella dice que ella sí usa el producto, que sí trabaja eBay, que no le gusta simplemente tener algún afiliado y decirle, no lo está usando. Ella lo usa, incluso ayer hizo una venta, porque es de las personas que le gusta usar el producto para poder hablarle a la gente, pero simplemente su enfoque ahorita es Amazon, pero sí ha hecho eBay y sí lo ha usado. Otra pregunta, Rocío, que no veo aquí ahora.
Ok. Bueno, había una pregunta. Hold on, let me get back over here. They have a lot of questions.
Good. I'll try and keep my answers condensed for you.
No, someone is saying that you're amazing and thank you for sharing your story. And it's very inspirational.
There's a good question right here, and I like to ask too also. Yvonne, she say, how do you balance your time between this domination, your family, and your team? Like, how much time do you invest on business?
That is a great question. It's very hard because we have I wear a lot of hats. Okay, I'm a mom and a wife. You know, a business owner. I'm the head of a large team. I've got my own e-commerce stuff that I'm doing. I've got family stuff, so it's hard. And I'll tell you that I'm very good at I used to be very good at burning myself out and just go and just do what I had to get done. I did a study called it's a time blocking study, and it's in the Dream Team website, and it's in English. But you guys are more than welcome, Rocio or Ophie, if one of you want to do a translation for it and give it to your team. You have my permission to do that. It has absolutely saved my life. I have to time block, and that means that I'm not always available 24 hours a day to my team. I'm available, but you can't be available on, you know, every time you get a message, answer it. And see, I took Messenger off of my phone because I found myself, I'd be out with my family or doing whatever, and I'm like this with my phone. I'm like this. And that's not quality family time. And you have to have your priorities. You have to put time away for personal development, for spiritual growth, for your family, for your business, for your team, and you have to put it in time blocks. And I am making, when I started doing that, my income went up. My team is more excited. it's like, and I feel more human. So I used to think, well, if I'm not always there, then I'm going to lose money. No, that's not how it works. People don't want to model themselves anyway after someone who's just going all the time and never has time for their family. That's not what we want. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because we want time with our family. We're doing this because we don't want to be a slave to the boss. We're doing this because we want to be in control of what we make. So it seems like it's a contradiction, but if you time block and say, you know what, I'm only on Facebook for 30 minutes in the morning and this amount of time in the afternoon, or whatever the schedule is, it's different for everybody. And I would also recommend, along with the spiritual and the business and the family, that you throw in physical in there. It's important to work out. Even if your workout consists of walking around the block during lunch. I know these girls got their workout going on. So, I mean, that's going to help you mentally. It really is. It's really going to help. So you have to time block, and you have to say, if my personality is one where if I'm in the middle of a project, I don't want to stop until I've completed it. And so time blocking for me is very hard, because it goes against my nature. I just want to work and work and work until it's done. Well, what I've learned to do is, even though it's uncomfortable, I shut it down. I'm like, you know what? I will start there when it's the next time for me to work on that. But right now, it's family time, or right now, it's time for me to do, I have office hours on my time block. So that's the time where I schedule my calls with my team if we need to make calls, or where I'm available on Facebook if people want to just chat back and forth and all that. So, you know, it's very important to do that time block. You'll be more productive, you'll get more done, you'll be focused, and it'll benefit you. It's the only way to do it. You'll go nuts. Like I have gotten to a point where I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. And that's when I just really, this is actually one of the books that I modeled it after, and I don't know if it's in Spanish, but this is what my training is very much based on, and you guys can interpret it and share it with your team.
Oh, we will. Thank you. We'll take your word on that, because trust me,
Oh my God.
we are there. We've been there. We are there with our team. So we're trying to teach them to be leaders and not to be, you know, an employee, because some of us have quit our jobs. So, you know, we can have more time freedom. But go ahead, Lucia, translate it.
Okay, ella dice que lo que ella hace, bueno, respondiendo a la pregunta de Ivonne, lo que ella hace son el time block, lo que se llama bloques de tiempo, lo voy a traducir así, no sé si es lo correcto, pero ella hace bloques de tiempo que básicamente determina o hace un horario, pues, para ella, de que en determinado tiempo ella va a hacer una cosa, en esta otra hora, otra, el balance entre familia, trabajo, el negocio, contestar a su equipo, porque ella solía hacer cosas de que antes estaba pegada, ¿no? al celular, tratando de contestarle a su equipo mientras estaba con su familia, y eso no es tiempo de calidad. El estar con tu familia es estar con tu familia, no es estar ahí, estar distrayéndote, ¿no? Con tu celular. Y entonces ella dejó de hacer eso, se organizó más. Hay un entrenamiento que ella tiene dentro del sitio de miembros de ellos, del Dream Team, que nos dio permiso para compartirlo con ustedes. Lo vamos a traducir para que ustedes, los que quieran organizar su tiempo de la manera que ella lo hace, lo pueden ver que se llama bloques de tiempo, el time block, y bueno, nosotros lo vamos a traer para ustedes. Y bueno, básicamente eso es lo que menciona ella, que es más acerca de ser una persona organizada y de tener más libertad de tiempo, porque nosotros no estamos aquí para hacer este trabajo y hacernos esclavos de esto. Nosotros ya decidimos dejar de trabajar para un jefe, entonces no queremos ser esclavos en un lugar y volver a ser esclavos en otro, sino que básicamente tener eso, ¿no? Luchar por nuestro tiempo libre, que es lo que queremos demostrar. Las personas que son líderes no quieren enseñarle a su gente a trabajar demasiado y desgastarse, sino a aprender a manejar su tiempo para poder disfrutarlo con tu familia y a la vez ganar buen dinero. Que básicamente ella pensaba que el hecho de no contestarle el hecho de no contestarle a su equipo a las 24 horas o en el momento que lo necesitaba, ella pensaba que perdía dinero, pero no, es al contrario. Tú tienes que darles el tiempo y no estar ahí con tu equipo en el momento que lo necesites, sino en el momento que tú determines que lo necesitan. Que es lo mejor que puede uno hacer.
Ujú.
I want to add one more thing to that because I know a lot of people on here have full-time jobs and they've got kids and they've got, I mean, that's a lot to juggle. So what I want to add is sometimes in the beginning when you're working your way out of your job, there are going to be sacrifices that you have to make. Absolutely. I still make sacrifices because I'm not where I want to be. I mean, we've never arrived. I always want to get better. But my point is, if you've got the job and you've got to get home and make dinner for the family and you've got all these things you've got to do, kids and bath and homework and all that, sometimes it means that maybe you're not going to watch that show that you like to watch all the time. Maybe instead of watching that show, you're going to focus on your business. Maybe it means that you just can't give up that show and you want to watch it, and so maybe maybe you're going to, not go to bed as early. I mean, you've still got to have priorities, and you still need to go, okay, what are my goals? This is where I want to be. This is where I am, and I was invited to a dinner or a barbecue or something like that. Maybe you choose that time not to go because that's going to allow you a few hours to work on your business. I mean, you have to still evaluate and prioritize.
Ya, okay, lo que ella dice es muy cierto. Dice que muchas de las personas de aquí seguramente todavía tienen un trabajo. Entonces, cuando ustedes están tratando de salir de ese trabajo y están teniendo esto como part-time, como medio tiempo, van a tener que hacer sacrificios. Incluso ella aún hace sacrificios porque no está donde quiere estar y dice que uno nunca llega, sino que siempre quiere más. Lo que ella aconseja es que van a tener que hacer sacrificios. Por ejemplo, si tienen que llegar a la casa, tienen que cocinar para el esposo, cuidar a los niños, bañarlos, hacer las tareas, todo eso que se hace, está bien que lo hagan, pero después de eso, uno de los sacrificios que pueden hacer es tal vez quieren ver ese show de televisión, entonces tal vez no lo vean y dediquen esas horas a su negocio, a este negocio, o tal vez los invitaron a ir a una fiesta o algún lugar y deciden no ir para poder dedicar ese tiempo a su negocio. Pues esos son los sacrificios, algunos de los sacrificios que van a tener que hacer, pero los van a tener que hacer para si ustedes quieren que esto les funcione. Siempre va a tener que hacer sacrificios uno. I see another question and where was it? Hold on. Oh, I think you already answered that because someone was asking how many people do you help on your team? I don't know.
On a large level, I help all of them because we create training so that they can watch it. And on, if I want to scale it down, I only personally work with people I personally sponsor. So I have over 300 personals. There's no way for me to, move it down the road. But I do help in other ways on providing other trainings that they can watch in a group, providing resources that they can go to, and that sort of thing.
Ok, ella dice que personalmente tiene como a 300 personas ella que las ha afiliado, que se le es imposible, pero que ella ayuda a su equipo en general con entrenamientos, porque hace entrenamientos y hace videos y los pone así en general para que todos lo puedan ver, pero personalmente cuando trabaja con la gente que ella ha afiliado, con los de ella. En general pone videos y entrenamientos, pero en lo personal trabaja con la gente que ella ha afiliado.
There's a good question, but I think it's part of what you already said, but maybe can expand a little bit more. One of these our guys, Luis, he say, what do you do what do you recommend to maintain your retention? From people who start from zero, the people that don't know anything, they start from zero. What do you recommend for those people to maintain it in your team?
To stay. Yeah.
Well, to make them stay or
My,
help.
yeah, that's a great question. My goal when I sign someone up is for them to make money. So what I do is I personally, I mean, this is not for everybody, and it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do this, but this is why I only work directly with my personals. And I try and create a culture where the people on my team do the same thing, because my goal is for people to come in, and I don't care if I'm making $10 a month off of them if they're not making any money. I mean, it drives me crazy when someone signs up and they never put one listing up, and then they either keep paying every month. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you paying? Or they quit. It drives me crazy. So I agree to look over the first 3 listings that my team member, my person, puts up, and I have requirements. They have to watch the pro all the way through, then they have to watch a webinar, and then they have to watch pro all the way through again. And when they do that and they get their 3 listings up, I look them over and I give them feedback. And it's all in a Facebook chat. It's not a long thing. It takes me about 10 or 15 minutes maybe to quickly compare and look and give them some tips. And, you know, if I can get them into profit mode and I can get them to see the value in upgrading as well, because their profits will increase, then they're going to stay. I have a pretty good retention rate.
Ella dice que lo que ella hace es, y esto lo hace nada más para su equipo. ¿Sí, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I always mute. Ella dice que, bueno, lo que ella hace mucho trabajo, primero que nada, por eso es que nada más trabaja con sus personas que son directos de ella, y básicamente ella pone reglas y es, primero que nada, que todos vean, bueno, la persona que entra a su equipo, su meta es, perdón, su meta es que hagan dinero y que la pone mal, ¿no? La vuelve loca cuando una persona se inscribe y ni siquiera hace el esfuerzo de ver todo el entrenamiento, de poner una publicación, por lo menos. Eh, pues molesta, ¿no? Se siente uno mal de que estén pagando y no estén aprovechando el sistema. Pero bueno, lo que ella hace es que los invita a que vean todo el entrenamiento pro, todo, absolutamente todo, estudiarlo bien. Después tienen que ver un webinar o por lo menos uno de entrenamiento en vivo, y ella revisa cuando ellos hacen, hasta que ellos hacen su tercera publicación, ella se pone de acuerdo para revisarlos y lo hace nada más por chat. Ella revisa tres de sus publicaciones y ella les da sus mejores consejos de cómo mejorar esa publicación, y eso es todo. Le toma como 10 minutos hacer eso, no tiene que ser en llamada, nada más por chat, y eso es todo. Si ella hace todo eso cada vez con su equipo, y menciona que gracias a eso ya tiene muy buena retención, o sea que su equipo, la mayoría de su equipo se queda, las personas se quedan con ella.
But let me say one thing on that though. Like any other business out there are always going to be people that quit, and that is not an issue with you. That is an issue with them. Either they aren't willing to put in the work, either they're not willing to be teachable, or they just, I mean, honestly, this is a business. It's a business that requires some dedication and some time, and some people just aren't willing to put it in. And if, you know, people will quit. Even something as easy as DSD, people will quit. And that's okay. You can't take it personal.
Sí, lo ella dice es muy importante que cualquier negocio, las personas van a renunciar, no todos se van a quedar, no es culpa de ustedes, no significa que hiciste algo mal, simplemente siempre va a haber alguien que no ponga el esfuerzo necesario para para hacer dinero. Inclusive con algo tan sencillo como lo es de-examination, hay personas que simplemente no quieren hacer ese esfuerzo y siempre va a haber eso, personas que se retiren antes de tiempo. Nada tiene que ver en lo absoluto con lo que tú hagas o dejes de hacer. Es siempre en ellos y obviamente es un negocio. Como cada negocio tiene que haber cierto pues esfuerzo, ¿no? Cierta dedicación para que para poder salir adelante.
Um, okay, Jorge says you have a great story and congratulations for your success. And he wants to know how long have you been in DS domination?
I've been in DS domination since pre-launch, August 25th or 26th. So since the beginning, I've been here.
Okay. Ella dice que ha estado desde el principio, desde que se lanzó en agosto del 26 el año pasado. Juana says, how long did it take you to make money when you started this domination?
I didn't make my first sale for 2 weeks. And the reason that it took me 2 weeks to make my first sale is because I didn't follow the training. That was back when Roger was a little more available, and he called me and said, "How are your sales going?" And I said, "What sales? I'm not making any. This thing, I don't know if this thing really works." And he looked at my listings, and he was just like, "Oh, wow." He's like, "You didn't even look at your titles. Like, they're terrible. And look at your, I mean, it was terrible. It was terrible." So I went through, and I literally had to watch the training 3 times. Like, it didn't come easy for me, guys. I had to watch the training 3 times. Meanwhile, my husband is making 1 to 2 sales a day when he first started, and I'm like, I don't understand. And so anyway, I went through, did the training again, and then I started making daily sales.
Okay, ella dice que ella no empezó a hacer dinero de inmediato, pasaron 2 semanas y no hacía dinero porque no siguió el entrenamiento, no lo vio bien. Y dice que Roger la llamó cuando Roger todavía tenía un poquito de tiempo, más tiempo disponible, y le preguntó que cómo estaban sus ventas. Y ella le dice, ¿qué ventas? No, esto creo que no va a funcionar para mí. Entonces Roger revisó sus listings y le dice, wow, pero ya revisaste tus títulos. Le dice, no estás ni siquiera trabajando en tus títulos. Entonces le tomó tiempo, tuvo que volver a ver los entrenamientos, vio el entrenamiento 3 veces. Y dice que mientras tanto su esposo estaba haciendo de 1, 2, 3 ventas diarias cuando él empezó, pero para ella no fue fácil, porque no siguió el entrenamiento. Para que se den cuenta que ella también sufrió.
Creo que nos pasó lo mismo. I think we had the same thing. So I was like, what is going on? Everybody's making money and not me.
And I think a lot of people relate to that. Okay, so last question, guys, because I know she she's busy too and she has more stuff to do.
Pregunta, ¿por qué estás hablando en inglés?
Perdón, sí, la última pregunta que voy a hacer porque ya tiene tiempo. Ay, sorry. Okay, according to your experience, at what time do you think you can obtain financial freedom with the examination?
Wow, that is a really good question, but it's a tough question because I think it's different for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And am I interpreting the question to mean at what point can you make enough to quit your job, or are you talking about how long do you think it's gonna take you? But I think you're right. It depends on you. Yeah, it depends on a lot. It depends on your goals. It depends on your eBay limit, for example. I mean, if you start out and you only have a 10-item limit, you're going to make less money in a month than someone who has a 100-item limit. So it depends on so many factors, and it depends on what you're putting into it. I have people on my team who have replaced their income and actually doubled their income from their real job, from their 9-to-5 job, in 5 months, 6 months. it's just, you know, it's kind of a variable thing.
Ok, ella dice que eso depende porque depende de las metas que tengan, del tiempo que le dispongan a esto. Ella tiene gente en su equipo que en 5 meses ha logrado renunciar a su trabajo y hacer el doble de lo que hacían en su trabajo regular de 5 a 9 de la tarde. Pero es más que todo depende de las metas y del tiempo que uno le dedique a esto. Bueno, creo que eso fue todo, chicos. Gracias por haber asistido y pues nada, tomen ventaja de todo lo que ella les dijo. Ya vieron que no importa la adversidad, no importa los problemas que tengan, los retos, si tú te lo propones, si tu mente cambia, puedes cambiar tu situación, puedes cambiar el momento en que te encuentras ahora. Y ella hoy compartió con nosotros su historia y se lo agradecemos bastante. I'm just saying that, they can achieve success, they can get their goals and make their dreams come true as long as they work towards it and as long as they are willing to put on the work. And thank you very, very much for being here tonight and share your story with us. It was very inspiring, and I think a lot of people took a lot from it and from you. They're very grateful, they're happy, and they say thank you for your time and for being here with us as well.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me on. Muchas gracias, and I feel so welcome. Thank you so much. I had so much fun tonight.
Thank you, Kenya. It was like very, very awesome. I had to hold myself from crying.
Yep, you're very inspiring. So, ella dice que muchas gracias, que se sintió bienvenida y que pues nada, se sintió muy bien de estar aquí. Gracias, chicos. Thank you and see you later. Bye, chicos, nos vemos. Gracias por estar aquí. Bye, bye.